I think they're very suitable for the two.
Yeah, I really struggled to come up with something for Hera because he has so many strengths, and trying to put it like in one line was not that easy for us.
Yep.
But it just feels like he is so consistently finding great defenses, and yeah, I love that about him so much, and that's why we agreed on that one, but it was after quite some discussion.
Well, Hera with an out-of-the-box strategy here to start off this series. He's going for the barracks. Persians start with plus 50 wood, plus 50 food, and I think with that 9 villager start, it makes this type of attack have a better timing, Nili. If you were to try this at a standard start, I don't think you're going to find the villagers on the wood line as early. And that's precisely what ACCM is doing. He's headed over there to the wood line early, a common thing with the Lithuanians. And, you know, scouting, normally not something players prioritize quite as much early in this map, because you're going to find the water, you're going to dock and all that. You're not expecting militia here, so Hera's going to open up this series with a very different strategy.
Let's go into the POV of ACCM, or only the vision here, right? Because what does he see? Like, he scouted only around this area? Oh, and that's the worst timing.
Well,
he won't even
worse for who? Worse for who? If he can get the quick wall down? No, he has no clue.
That villager's out.
And it's 2 vills as well.
It's no loom. It's no loom as well. This could easily be that villager.
That's huge. And when you do this, Nili, as we see Hera benefit from this play already, it works twofold, because you've killed the villager, but then you're delaying the fishing ships, which the whole build order was designed for anyways. So based on where ACCM could have been if those militia wouldn't have shown up, he's now down 2 or 3.
Wow. Brilliant opening here for Hera. Has to be super happy with that. And that's beautiful mind game and preparation, right?
I like it.
We have seen him execute the early dock strategy so well in TGM. Everyone got scared of it. We have seen multiple snipes after this, and now he finds the adjustment.
Yeah, and I like it as well, because like maybe Hera found that this is a weakness for some of the players right now. It's like they're just assuming no one's going to go for military. They're blindly walking forward with no scouting. And Hera's going to do something here, which is actually the best play that he could do with this position, because all the other villagers are protected. And he's going to force ACCM to make another house there. He's going to slowly whittle down that house.
Yeah, and it's just guaranteed damage, right?
Yep.
You have the minus armor, even in Dark Age, so those militia will find quite some damage. And Hera's transitioning behind this should be pretty smooth, because his economy completely untouched.
Yeah, now the question then becomes, what does Hera do? Does he build up towards a stable to go scouts, or does he go to water? Both civilizations normally are going to water in a standard game, and it looks like Hera's going to do that now. And ACCM's going to see the villagers, so this is good intel for ACCM. ACCM will actually click up to Feudal Age first, but as long as he confirms there's a dock there, he'll know and could maybe strategize around it.
And Hera even double scouted. He had the scout at home, plus he split off the militia, as we saw on the mini-map. And ACCM, he still is lacking a second building.
Ooh, that hurts.
Dock denied, and you need one of the 4 mining camp, or dock the other option, or barracks. So it's actually 5, and that's why he's so delayed.
Yep, still good uptime though, right? Now again, you've got plenty of decisions to make here if you're ACCM. It looks like he's headed over to gold. And he's looking to see what exactly Hera's up to with his scout. I like how active he's been. I also like how he's going to save the house. It was at 2 HP. Might not seem like a big deal, but he wasn't making another house here, Nili. So if he wants to make like fishing ships or plan on an army of some kind, he's going to need the pop space. I'd make another house, to be honest, though.
300 wood for him. Still no barracks. He's probably trying to go double sneak dock over here.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. Hera. Ooh, there's the barracks as well.
Is that a fake? Only in the vision?
I think that
this could be a fake.
Well, I think you can go 1 dock, right? You go 1 dock, 1 range. 1 dock to kill the fishing ships or compete on water, because Hera still isn't clicked up yet. That like, for all the success Hera has had with his build, I'm a little surprised he's still not on the way to feudal.
Well, you're limited in food, right? You were not in the center for the dock for the extra shore, for the extra deep fish. You're limited on, like, you can't push deer on this map. There is none.
Yep.
And I think he just ran out of food.
Yeah, and like your build is a little awkward because your villagers are on straggler trees. And, you know, the good news for Hera is obviously he found benefit. But what a great job from ACCM to adapt to this. And Fire Galley's on the way. I love how the timing of the dock was perfect. Wood upgrade coming in.
Hera missed scouting this dock twice.
Yep.
Like, he went back and forth.
And so important, with that said, Nili, that ACCM kills this scout while he has the chance. But Hera's done a great job using the villager and what is currently the weaker scout, because it's a Dark Age scout, to force that scout away. He should find out here in a second. And I don't know about you, Nili, but if I see my opponents going Fire Galleys, I think I might actually just go for a second dock here. You've got 4 fishing ships. It might be worth it to defend them.
I think so. He even cancels 1 fishing ship. You saw the 5th one was close to finishing. He drops down the second dog,
Yep.
thinks like you.
Yeah. In some ways.
At least.
And if I ever do think like Hera, I can't play like Hera. ACCM
Well,
looking to deny this.
Or maybe we just look at the last tournament results, T90 against Hera, where you won a game against him.
I'll make sure to send the check later, Nili. Oh, man, this might actually be denied. It's going to be awkward for the scout to contribute, but it has delayed the second dock.
Why is he not camping there? Oh, no, the villager could run around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Demo. Oh, against the double militia. Saved the spearman and villager? Was that worth it?
No, I don't think so, but... You know, it got value, and it got a little bit of a boom, which is what the people want to see. Great job from ACCM. Hera, though, I want to see what his food bank is looking like. He's got 300 food in the bank, Nili, and that's always great for a player like him to maybe go scouts, saving these very weak fishing ships for now. But ACCM, he's going to find one with his scout. He's also, can he save the scout?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God, dude. This is incredible, and he's on 2 docks in the middle now, so
No
2 docks
galleys.
for both players.
Was he not on gold? What happened?
He didn't go to gold, you're right. Actually, Nili, he just must have transferred a bunch to compensate for it.
Look, could we double-click the gold?
I don't think he dropped off any gold at this point.
Oh, boy.
Also, is that a second barracks for Hera? He forgot he had a first barracks because this is such an uncommon build. It's not a build he's used to doing, so he's like, oh, I need to go land. But Hera, you already have the barracks.
What is happening?
It's the nerves, Nili. It's it's his first round, right? You have to travel all the way here. There's hope, expectations, all those things, and that is going to be something he might realize. I mean, if he needs a pike switch, it's going to be super convenient later on.
Did he maybe think, damn, my opponent might go knights, and the perfect counter could be pikes against it?
Yeah, I mean,
prepares the double barracks.
I want to see, like, does ACCM have that scouted? It's not like you would really do anything different except for maybe smile. I would smile a lot if I had ACCM smile. But, okay, he sees the double barracks, and he's probably feeling good. Like, okay, I killed his fishing ships. The second barracks is certainly not going to help him. And he also confirmed that Hera's just now making the range. And that's the biggest thing about this whole situation is Hera could have built the range instead of the barracks, and it could already be making range units. ACCM's going to have 2 archers running forward here.
ACCM has a close to impossible wall if he wants to wall to the edge of the map at the bottom. If he wants to wall to the left-hand side, that is kind of wallable, and he walls the good wall.
And he's using the scout, too. Yep.
Love it.
If he didn't have that scout, he probably would do the impossible wall, as you said. It still really sucks, because you don't see that other wood line there, which is unfortunate, but I think he's got to try it. And I think, ideally here, you just have map control, right? If you're sending range units forward right now, if you're ACCM, you should be able to find some success, but both players paying close attention to the middle. We got demos for both of them. And this should be a 1 for... Oh, actually, that might do no damage.
What? Suicides? Ooh, gets the good value.
We weren't very impressed, just ooh. I mean, after the militia earlier, how could we really get excited about that one, right? Great recovery from Hera, right? And the fact that he made the second barracks hasn't really been a factor yet. Total resources collected. Hera's 900 ahead, which is crazy.
He had 4 fishing ships for a very long time.
Yeah, he did.
None.
Also, maybe he's a little faster to the berries, maybe faster to some farms, things that we normally associate with Hera. Remember, Persian docks have so much HP. I'm a little surprised here that ACCM didn't push out when he saw that Hera didn't have the range earlier. He had the opportunity, but he's focused on the water. There should be a demo coming at some point. Hera's got to be really careful here.
It's coming from the other dock, though. Oh, it's cute
from
behind.
Both. I think it's from both. I believe both probably have a demo on the way. Hera's getting the kills, but he could lose 4 ships here.
Oh, I'm scared.
Oh! What?
No!
What's happening?
Not a single kill!
No! Oh, that's so sad. Now, there is going to be another one, and there's also archers at the same time, so I doubt Hera's going to be able to really look for this. And Hera's going to drop a tower now on his gold. Now, the demo could happen now. Like, we'll see if ACCM's able to focus on both himself. That demo could kill 3 ships there. We also have Hera looping around with his own archers, so damage control is needed for Hera. ACCM may or may not be walled on that side. He's going to kill 1. Yeah, kill 1 villager there on the gold. Honestly, well played from Hera. That could have been a whole lot worse for him.
Yeah, absolutely. If he sees that 10 seconds later, it's minus 4 or 5 volts.
Yep.
Really nice reaction there for sure. That wall finishes in perfect time as well. And game stabilizes. But we have to think, like, Castle Age timing should be better for Hera here, right? He had the food transition earlier, plus can go for fishing ships.
I would love to see the eco setup if we could just get a quick overview, because it looks like both players are walled from the archers. Just like look at their eco. Okay, so there we've got some farms. What about Hera's base here? I just feel like Hera has transitioned. Yeah, he's got so many more farms there. And that's why his resource collected has actually grown from what we've seen earlier.
I think ACCM needs to play with the market here.
Yeah.
It's kind of the only way. Demo would like to get 2, gets 2.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. They're the only 2 out there. Always feels so bad when you lose this much water control and haven't killed more villagers with your archers.
Yeah. Look at the HP on those. God, just this one demo, Tristan. So much wasted potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Villagers being sent forward. Is he trying to repair this?
I think it's a misclick of sorts. I think if I had to guess, I'd say he had a control group set for his army or his villagers and misclicked.
That felt a bit weird.
Yeah, that definitely felt a bit weird. And the efficiency is not looking too good for ACCM, and Hera, for all the struggle he had with the second barracks, everything else has been entirely smooth.
Yeah.
And he's going to have water control with Persians. His TC's been working faster at this point. He will likely reach Castle Age faster. The only thing I will say, he's got some weak fires out there.
Yeah, but nothing to contest them, right?
Yeah.
You never want to go there if you have some high HP ones in the front. Archers can't do much. Now tries to wall behind it, and it won't be pretty. Even walls off his own archers.
Yeah, now Hera doesn't have the archer number that ACCM does, but he's going to change that there with a pickoff. And Hera's got the hill, plus he's got full HP archers in that group. This is just one of those fights that Hera just has to not lose, it feels like, because of what we're seeing and what the economy looks like. And it looks like it's going to be a 50-50 fight.
Hera clicks up, 70 food in the bank for ACCM.
Yeah, this is really bad. And you had mentioned a market, Nili. Feels like we'll probably see that market any moment.
Yeah, he will have to buy like 500 food.
Yeah, and even that he's going to have to sell stone if he wants to get the gold then.
100%.
So, and I think, yeah, you kind of have to, right?
So bought 400, sold 200 stone. I think you even need to buy another 100 food. So many resources lost there just to not fall behind in the timing too much.
Absolutely. Well, Hera opens up this series with the 2 militia strategy, benefited from it immediately. Subsequently lost some water control, but on land, the transitions have looked so incredibly smooth. This is the thing about Hera on these hybrid maps. He'll use the fish, because you have to use the fish, but he switches into the farms probably better than anyone else on these types of maps.
Yeah, like he was so heavily on the berries, right? Typically, if I play this, suddenly I have 12 idols and 12 wood.
Yeah, you're like, I can't make farms with these builds. Where do I go? I don't have straggler trees. Oh, man.
Oh, and then I have 31 on wood.
Yep.
And, yeah, reach Castle Age 6 minutes later than my opponent. So crazy transition by Hera behind this.
And you know, he also is going to open pretty aggressively with all these resources. You see the stable now, considering he doesn't have the stone, I imagine it's probably going to be a second stable from him. And a normal follow-up then is going to be a monastery as well, especially when you're up against the Lithuanians. I think you want to be active. I like to see Hera even make an extra scout, personally. Just scout the map, use the scout up against any monks. But he's in Castle Age now, 2 stables. There's the monastery and more eco upgrades for Hera. ACCM still a minute behind. It very much feels like this is Hera's game to lose at this point.
He gets all the map control, he has the better economy, it just feels more natural, transition away from here, and ACM is trying to do the best with those archers. But look at that, he keeps up queuing archers against Persian that is going knights. Not a pretty scenario.
Yeah, I think the reason for that is because you want to go crossbowman knight against any camel civ. Because Hera has the ability to go camels, which are counter to knights and really hard to push. But obviously, I think the biggest issue here is, you know, he just doesn't have the mass of them. He's only on 5 archers. And you then have to justify, do I even want to get bodkin arrow and crossbowmen? It's quite a few resources for that. Now, Hera collecting some stone, I'm noticing, Nili, so we probably will see the second TC for him at some point. ACCM needs to open strong here. And you know what some players would do? I don't think ACCM is that type of guy, but some players would go double monastery here. A lot of monks could be extremely helpful with all the ships there. And also, you know, the opponent's going to have knights and camels.
But like you without a stable production, really, like some knights there, I think you're giving up so much more map control. I think if you go double monastery, it's basically saying, I want to win a 60-minute game. Plus, right? There's like no way you can contest anything. You're handing over the map control to the opponent. It's unlikely that you will outboom the Persian player. They will get potentially 4 relics, maybe even 5. And it's an uphill battle, but, well, it's always an uphill battle because Hera has all the map control.
Yeah, exactly. Persians are the better booming civ at this point. But that is a good point. Like, the lead for Hera will grow a bit more as he has the town centers and ACCM's just getting his. But if this does go really late, let's say Hera has 4 relics, Persians aren't that great in late game. They're not that impressive compared to the Lithuanians, especially if the Lithuanians have their trash upgraded and then their own hussars.
Yeah. Tristan, Knights are in, and there's no defense.
Oh man, you could tell like ACCM was a little undecided there. He does trap the other knights from coming in, but his archers are still feudal age units. This is painful, man. Very well played from Hera, and this is exactly what you want. Just get a couple more pickoffs, delay your opponent from running forward,
go
and
in or
continue
go
to
out.
boom.
Okay, decides to go out. I think against one monk, you could have maybe accepted the conversion.
Maybe. But you don't know
risky.
how many monks are coming.
It's risky. Yeah,
and then you could get trapped again. And yeah, I mean, you might, I think we could easily be questioning that if you were to continue in there. That's a farm TC if I've ever seen one. And that's not the type of TC that ACCM would have wanted to build here.
What's the scouting in the back of the base there? That he has to place this TC.
He might not know.
He knows about the gold.
Is that just, I'm so far behind in town centers, I need one right now?
And he puts them into... Does he see a raid that we don't see? Okay.
Oh, he's going to send them to gold.
Oh. Another TC. That one I like.
Well, the first one is just like a bigger mill, really, if you think about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
How many monks do we have on the field right now? We've got 3 monks for ACCM, and Hera is getting +2 armor, but the armor won't be helpful against monks.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's great.
he really wants to get in and do damage. I'm not sure I'm in love with +2 armor, but obviously if he breaks in and is underneath TCs and is up against units, it could be helpful. They're obviously killing some weak knights. Very good value.
I don't see the necessity either. I think something like Scouts, Light Cav, could have felt a bit more useful right now. Obviously, he will want to get the +2 armor eventually in this game. Maybe a bit of a different prioritization.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're able to continue to produce units and, you know, out of your TCs and your stables, it's still fine. It's an upgrade you're normally looking for. But yeah, I think the unit that Hera might need more than anything is going to be Light Cav when he sees these monks. But I still don't see the monks. I'm waiting for them. There they are.
Oh. Lithuanian monks defending, Persian monks picking up some relics while we see the 4th town center here. And Terra, 3rd relic already on the way there. We can see the mini dot on the mini map there in blue. And just gets that one. Not really sure where the 4th relic is.
It's probably in a monk's hand at the moment. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So kind of 4 relics confirmed for Hera and ACCM. Limited to +1 attack on his knights.
Yep. Hera has 2 knights to contend with here.
Oh no.
But he can't attack them now. Delete the gate.
Delete one of the barracks?
I mean, there you go. I mean, the gate in the backside was absolutely crucial there to stop the knights from running through. Yeah, it's going to be probably 4 relics for Hera.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. He's also, it feels like the timing on everything is perfect. He's on stone, so he can get a castle down, whether that be defensive or forward.
And this is the dream game, how you want to start in the tournament, right?
Yep.
This game, you kind of know you won, and now you're cruising. Like, you can execute your macro, you can produce units, can build some more, raid a bit more, defend. Like, this is like such a sweet game to start a tournament if you're Hera here.
Yep. Yeah, because it helps you calm the nerves, right? And I'm sure there's still going to be nerves, but you go into the second game, and if you really start to doubt yourself or struggle at all, you're just like, well, I have a game in hand now, right? I like how Hera hasn't felt like he's had to do too much. He's played with a lot of confidence instead of making like too much army or too little army. The balance has been just right. And there's his point of view there. He's going to drop a castle there. And he sees the monks. I mean, obviously, if ACCM were to move out right now, it actually feels like ACCM could contend that. But
Demo. Goes for the light cav. And yeah, just wants to scout the top corner there.
Yeah, he's got tons of vision here.
Maybe I want to get to the 5th relic, but obviously that spawned.
I think ACCM's moving out right now. Like, I really feel like that castle could be denied. I'm unsure, though. No, he's just placing a defensive
castle.
castle.
4 archers, right?
Well, he had 5 monks, so I thought he could get 5 conversions, and the conversions could make a difference. Hera's not really building with a lot, but he doesn't need to. And again, it's just like this is how far ahead he is. 6,000 to 7,000 resources ahead, and the ability to make traps.
Oh, Tristan.
Oh, goodbye, old man. Nope, they're faster than I thought, and
2.
Okay.
How did he split in there, kind of?
What do you mean?
Well, he split away.
Double split.
And then, the double split, but the second split was kind of towards...
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, if we interview ACCM, we'll make sure to ask him, and he'll be like,
Nerd. How did he dodge the archers and the castle there? It was so good by Hera.
I was too busy looking at your face after the question you had asked previously. I'm sorry, I didn't actually see that.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to your answer.
Yeah, makes sense.
What were you saying?
No one listens to me, really. I just put people to sleep. That's what I hear. Stables now, and Lycav opening for Hera. And I don't see a world where Hera can't win with just Lycav and Treps. He could go Castle Age Lycav and Treps at this point, right? He's up against 4 Spearmen, 6 Archers, and 3 Monks. It's not going to be 3 Monks any longer.
Yeah, those could get sniped as well. Hera snipe. He has to be so happy. Like, dealt with those demos so beautifully already. With all those monks.
Yeah. I think ACCM, when he sees the first Treb, that's when it's going to sink in that this is a big problem.
12 on gold.
Okay. Hera's really getting upgrades for those 9 Knights that he's had. Like, he hasn't produced any more. But again, like, I think most of his gold is just going to go into the trebuchets here. Really like the War Galley upgrade. Obviously, +2 armor is great. And the confidence is just building and building for Hera here.
8,000 extra resources collected as well. And he just puts them on the map, right? So far ahead in the economy. We see ACCM even struggling to keep the TCs running there. Now the desperate play is to go to mass lighters, but as we mentioned earlier, only 1 relic there for our Lithuanian player.
We saw Persians in the previous series, right?
I would say yes.
Okay, I believe Persians won that, and Persians won the first series as well. So Persians have looked really good. Obviously, the players have looked good too. But you said it, Nili, and as Bloodlines could actually be denied here. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh.
Denied.
No!
Denied.
As if things couldn't get any worse, right? But yeah, I mean, you said it, Nili, as we increase in the bans throughout the tourney, I would definitely expect to see less and less of Persians.
Yeah.
But Hera's played Persians to perfection here. And he really, the only thing that's bothering me is he's not going for the castles. I really don't understand that one.
Are you that scared of lighters, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. There's a really good unit. It's better than the Cavalier. And
yeah. We need elite though as well.
Yeah,
Right now he can. But yeah, I think like the typical approach is to snipe down the castles.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. I'm sure there's other things going on in Hera's mind here. He might be thinking about a tech switch, but I'm not really seeing it right now. It's just Cav. Not even seeing any camels from him. So just continuous Cavalier, and you know now you have ACCM and Imp. But ACCM could have lost that castle already if Hera would have had the Trebs there. I think Hera just really wanted to raid with his Cav.
Well, just pokes in there. Wouldn't be super surprised if he's thinking about paladins as well. But now switches into Botcan first. Is this a spot where you even make a tech switch into heavy camel?
I think with this position and the way Hera's playing it, he's just going to take a big fight here in a second and hope that that's enough. But I would like to see camel. I really like to see Hera getting the university upgrades and also getting Bodkin Arrow because his castles can help in these engagements. And a lot of people forget that, right? Even players here forget or just don't think in the moment to get Fletching and Bodkin Arrow and whatnot for their castles.
Nice defensive castle as well. Just wants to set himself up. Okay, what are the options? How I could possibly lose? Maybe if he raids me to death, but I think Hera's forcing the massive engagement here. Yeah,
I mean, it's the best fight ACCM could get, right? He's got Monks, Pikemen, and Latus in here, and his armor just kicked in. So this might be a situation where after the fight, ACCM has more units left on the map, but Hera's going to be able to produce more. He's got 16 cap on the field, not all here, of course, and 16 more on the way. And for ACCM, his Q is bad, man, as he's trying to push that castle back. But yeah, like I said, latest Pikeman, not bad. Just a question of can he really produce that much more?
Yeah, the big difference there is simply what you said, like 30 more villagers allows him to get to all that Q. And yeah, it looked like ACCM took a reasonable fight, but the next wave seems unstoppable.
Yep, probably why Hera took the fight, and it's probably why Hera isn't really like playing any games with trying to go for commander on crossbows or even halberdier here. He just knows he's got such a big lead. He can hold this position as he's using his 4 Trebs against the 1 there from ACCM. Usually, if a player thinks they have a fighting chance in a game, they pack up that Treb and they back away and wait for more. ACCM is going to repair with everything because he knows he doesn't really have a fighting chance if that Treb doesn't do it.
Yeah, and he kind of wants to, he is limited to 1 single castle, right?
Yep.
And like, where's your production coming from? So not the pretty thing. Hera saves his own castle, pop limit against 150 ACCM, increasing, and gets to reasonable Harmony numbers.
I'd like to see Paladin here from Hera at this point. I don't mind the hand cannons, actually.
15 hand cannons.
But look at his res. It almost feels like he's waiting. He's going to have enough cav. I'm at pop cap. My castles are impossible to take down because I'm getting architecture now.
He could have squeezed some Paladin and only then Q the hand cannon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I like this as well. Couple Cav going around in for the raid. And still keeping the main group. Cav over there too. Yep. Cavalier splitting up everywhere.
Lighters thinking about diving, but thinking better of it. It is full Halberdier play, and it works against full Cavaliers, but the moment the hand cannoneers arrive,
Yep.
ACCM might be running out of options.
Hera clicking Elite War Elephant.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You gotta be like, I gotta say, I know he knows he's won this game, but if you click Elite War Elephant and lose this game, it looks bad. Even lose the series, ACCM might get more fire in his belly because you're tossing some elephants into the fight.
The worst thing is if he is not producing them, right? Okay, now he has 5 in the queue.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was toying with our feelings, like clicking elite elephants and not going for them.
Well, I would be okay with that because you don't want to like, it's hard to say add additional motivation for ACCM because he's already super motivated, but if it were me and I was ACCM and I saw an elephant here, I'd be like, oh, okay, bud. Okay, it's going to be that type of series. But to be honest, it's also like a, hey, you want to just like maybe resign here because like I've killed you type of a move. Hera's got 5 relics. He's got perfect map control.
60 on food, 50 on gold.
Yeah. ACCM's still fighting. He's just like,
God.
I'm not calling this.
God.
That's honestly a good play. Right?
It is
It's
a really
good
good play. Yeah. It's something that we simply
You just don't see it.
Yeah. That's also something that I want to see from the POV, how he placed those walls.
Yeah.
Right, because they wouldn't fit on my screen. Like, what is he going for?
Okay, murder hole's on the way. I like how one Latest made it into his eco, and his reaction was, let's place 1,000 stone into walls.
Okay, soon 10 Dumbos. Cavalier raid continues as well, and ACCM, he wants to get some warm fingers here, apparently.
I'm actually really curious. So he's got 10 Elite War Elephants. I'm thinking of the HP difference between Cavalier and Paladin, and if you would have had 30 Cavalier and researched Paladin, how much HP you get versus the Elephants. But the Elephants are just so... Oh, thank you! Thank you! There we go. All right. That was very important. That's what it looked like, guys.
Okay. Well, I had to scroll twice there because it was so long.
You could tell it was awkward for him, too. But I think... I know we said it before, but I think this fight will probably end the game here. Hera has played so well. Finishing the game with style and the GG's called. That was a clean game for the Canadian.
Oh, man. And also a clean game for the viewers there. They had to love that. So many memey things going there in the end. And Hera, yeah, he was just in complete cruise control, smoothing it through. Basically from, like, the moment he reached Castle Age, it felt like.
You know, again, we kind of touched on it, Nili, but it was just the transitions that were so good. I felt like the uptime to feudal for ACCM, the fact that he lost the villager, that didn't have that big of an effect, right? Like all that stuff was pretty good. He recovered from it nicely. But it's the focus you put on the micro and it's the focus you put on the counter aggression that sometimes leaves you to forget some of the other aspects. And so Hera's defensive play, which I believe was what we had on that little sheet, or not sheet, but the graphic, I guess, that said his pros versus cons was just all about there. So we're going to move on. ACCM clearly has a bit of a game plan here. I actually really like his home map pick, Northern Isles. I think if there would be any map that Hera might struggle a bit more on, it might be a map that incorporates more water. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that has more water on it than any map.
Yeah,
right?
very likely.
Right? I think so. And also, it can produce some pretty crazy early stuff, too, because of the transport ship. So I'm excited for that as a caster here.
The thing is, like, I would think Hera was lacking a bit, like half a year ago on Northern Isles. But I talked to him at DreamHack, and he said he learned so much during Red Bull Vololo Legacy because he had to play it so often, people played it against him. His set against TaToH meant like he really learned so much on how this map should be approached, and I think he is a more complete player than ever.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you know, when you don't have many weaknesses, it then becomes a priority to like let's try and nail this down. We do not want this to be an easy pick for the opponent. Civ-wise, if it ends up going for that, I'm thinking Byzantines is an easy shout there for ACCM. I didn't see Hera's graphic. I imagine he's got a civilization there that works well on water as well. My apologies, production. But we don't know, of course, if it's going to be Fortified Clearing or Northern Isles.
And seems like Hera's still thinking about it. Was that just cracking his knuckles?
Cracking his knuckles. Question for you, and forgive me for not knowing this, possibly unprofessional. Well, I definitely don't know how to say that. But are you able to pick your opponent's home
Yes,
maps?
yes.
You can, okay. So that's important to clarify because just because a player's picked a map doesn't necessarily mean that their opponent is weak on it. So ACCM might feel like this is going to go 4, going to go 5 games. If he wants to get a pick out of the way so that it's more difficult for his opponent to guess what civilization is going to be on the map, you could maybe go for it now, right? Like if you think you have a pick that is unexpected, you want to use it now versus when it's game 5 and there's only a civ or 2 on the board.
Oh man, $170,000 earnings already. Obviously, just won TGM, $40,000 in his pocket there, and pretty nice payday. He was on a roll over the last years. Came close to winning NAC 3. And a really nice final there. Fell short against the Viper 4-6. And he has maybe this tournament to redeem himself. Good start so far.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little surprised to see ACCM has gone for the Cumans here, but more so Fortified Clearing. After losing the first game, he goes to a map that Hera has definitely looked pretty good on over the past year. Obviously, we've had different versions of it. Many different versions have been seen, like the walls on the outside. And now this is the second tournament in a row. I think we don't have the walls on the outside. But Turk's a civilization that Hera plays very well with. Actually just played in a tourney recently where you had to play one civilization, the whole thing. And he went Turks. And I also recall, I believe we were casting
Wait, was that the tournament where you won a game against him?
Nili, I offered to pay you the first time I mentioned it, not the second. But I think we were actually casting Hera Villese in Titans League, where it was Turks versus Italians. I don't know if that jogs your memory, right?
Yeah, that was a good game.
There's just like a lot of memories I have as a caster of Hera playing Turks, so I'm excited for that. But the big question is, Cumans can make the second TC in Feudal Age. Their economy is unbelievable. You almost have to do it, right? I don't think there's any mind games where you just can't do it on this map. So if you're Hera, what do you do against that second town center?
I'd like to open some light cav, some spearmen, and put that castle in the face of the opponent.
Okay.
And really go for the aggression. Because Cuman, yeah, they have crazy economy, but they either need to get to like cut villager production, get the defensive castle up, or lose a lot of their map control if they aren't committing to like double stable and barracks to keep the opponent away.
You know, it feels like something that isn't very Hera-esque simply due to like the lack of eco upgrades you have behind that, right? But I think that's an important point. If you're going to go forward with the castle, you got to make sure it goes up, right? And you have to make sure it's as far forward as possible. None of this like, let's make it 7 tiles away from the wall and be sneaky about it. No, I think it's got to be right next to that gold there if you can scout that, which could be especially helpful too with your push.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, we need to see aggression. Like, a castle at home, yeah, this could be the like safer approach, but it just adds so much more value to have the short distance there with Janissaries, and then Cumans don't have a unit in Castle Age to really fight efficiently against those Janissaries.
Now, it is important to note that the gold for ACCM would be safe if he's castle dropped. It is a bit on the backside, so that would be protected.
If he's castle dropped from the inside.
Well, yeah, then that would be a problem. I would be very surprised if Hera were to walk around the outside with a castle, but I did see a player do that once.
Stuff happened.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's a crazy thing, right? Because you can't fully wall.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the opponent will scout the inside more.
Do you pick Berbers for that? Because then your villagers are
Villagers a bit faster. Maybe it would have been something if they spawned closer together.
Yeah.
Hera could take that into consideration.
Yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask, again, just like bringing up talking points, I'm 99% certain on these things, but the walls are 1080 HP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes there's been modifications to that. That is standard with all stone walls in Feudal Age. It'll go up to 1800 in Castle. But this definitely looks fast Castle from Hera. As for if it will be with scout support, we'll see. He's actually on the way. He's got to be careful here. When you're moving out with your scout and you're in Dark Age for so long against the Cumans, you could easily lose that. I'll be curious to see. Oh, wow, now ACCM might send his scout back. I bet you ACCM makes a beeline for that. Yeah, Hera, you better get away, dude. That was maybe not the smartest play to attack there, but it's also possible the Hera could get away.
Did he maybe patrol? Oh, ACCM, will he find this?
I think I'd go to the left if I'm ACCM.
Yeah, I would as well.
And,
He's smarter than we.
Yeah, he's much smarter. It was a 50-50 guess. Of course we guessed wrong, right? But good from Hera to recognize he needs to hide, but he's got to hide for 2 minutes.
Will he? Oh,
I actually think it's better to just go into a corner and not move. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Scout dead.
That's it.
That really hurts, right? Because now, if you're going to make army, you have to send so much more. Like, you have to make an additional scout, and that would be light cap in Castle Age for Hera. But honestly, at the same time, Nili, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Just, like, sit there and do nothing with your scout the whole time? You kind of have to move out. And
Tower rush. Tower rush behind extra town center.
Ooh.
That means the castle can't be placed in the center.
Yeah.
And Hera has no idea. And he can't find out because he doesn't have a scout.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to find out in a second. And I kind of like the approach from ACCM. The downside to this is I don't think he's going to be able to keep his villagers working out of those TCs as consistently. So, and even eco upgrades, right? Like typically with the straight boom, you have horse color already, and you're already seeding farms. So expect ACCM to have a later Castle Age time than a normal human boom. But here he is. And I mean, I don't know if you hate this or if you love it if you're Hera, because Hera wasn't even planning to go to stone at all in the first place.
Maybe delayed stone, right? Sometimes we've seen Turks approach like get Castle Age first and then switch heavily onto stone, like 9 villagers. We have seen some wild approaches there. But yeah, positioning of gold, pretty solid there for Hera. The only question mark will be the stone.
Yep. I like the scouting from ACCM because he saw the stone. And those villagers, man, I can never get 4 villagers to attack the same piece of wall. You got to do some real positioning there sometimes. I can always get 3.
Yeah, that's really well positioned for sure.
That's really good. That wall's going to go down pretty fast because Hera's not in Castle Age yet, obviously, so that's a weak wall. Which is why I brought up the question, did we modify these walls to make them stronger, which all the arena clowns out there do to their maps, right? But, you know, Hera's going to eventually have some scouts to go light
Hold
cap.
on, Hera didn't do blacksmith. He played stable market. He can't build a siege workshop.
That's true.
How is he addressing those towers? He's not on stone, and he can't build a siege workshop. I think he didn't. Like,
it's not something he's thinking of, right? Because you don't normally... It's such a weird thing. It's like needing a mill before you make a market. The two aren't connected in my mind, but you're right.
Let's take a look at early Castle Age, Hera's facial expression.
Actually, we should go to his point of view and see if he tries to place a building. When he gets to Castle Age, we should do that, because I think that's a good call.
Yeah. That will be interesting. Now the defensive tower, not protecting the stone, though.
Yeah.
I don't mind the spot here for ACCM. Obviously, he was super far away from Castle Age, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. At the same time...
Two sneaky villagers. Oh, he wants to rush the stone.
Okay.
ACCM scared. Gets 3 villagers away, blocks this one off. 1 scout here. Tower, I think this could be a cancel.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just don't want Hera to freely do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
And so this has accomplished that. It's much better than getting trapped. But I want to go back to Hera's staple living, because I actually quite like that, because, you know, had he gone for the blacksmith, then he wouldn't have any army support, and there's a couple weak villagers in there, so I don't mind it. But, okay, so we're going to want to... We got 30 seconds here. Hera's definitely banking for the siege. Like, look at his resources right now. Well, I just seeded a bunch of farms, excuse me, but... He's absolutely going to try and go light cap siege workshop.
He can't raid with those light cap on the outside. Oh, low HP villager.
Don't engage before light cap, though.
He felt like, those 2 low HP villagers, he wanted to snipe them down.
Oh, man, and yeah, he also knew the tower was going to go up.
Nice play by ACCM.
All right, so let's go. I believe this is the button. Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Tris,
Nili, you do it. This is your event.
Get your monastery.
Guys, we're just going to assume that Nili and I are right.
Farms.
We're just going to assume that we missed it and that we're brilliant. How's that sound? No? He's not trying. He would go for the blacksmith right now.
Just seeded more farms, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we will be right. We will stay on the POV till he places...
200 wood?
Till he places...
200 wood, siege workshop time. 200 wood, siege workshop time.
200 wood, siege workshop
Siege workshop time?
Siege workshop time.
That's it. He's trying it. He's trying it. It's not working. It's not working. He's like, I need a blacksmith now. Dang it.
Archer range.
There's the blacksmith.
Oh, we were right, Tristan.
Woo! Yay! Celebrate.
We
Okay. Well, that was eventful. But, you know, it's a bit funny at the moment. But this is crucial, Nili, right? Because if you had known about this, you would go for the blacksmith ahead of time. You would then have the siege workshop at a better time. It is 50 villagers for ACCM. At this point, I would say that his rush accomplished everything he would have wanted, despite no villager kills.
Yeah. Like 20 villagers ahead behind this as well, right?
Where are those vills, by the way? Are they still forward? Oh, yeah.
Well, continuing the stone, right? But you have stone on the outside. Uh-oh, 2 knights.
Knights. Ooh.
We get some gold. Those vills can rush in. 3 towers.
I would not be looking at this right now because I'd be like, my life is perfect if I was ACCM, and suddenly I'm like, oh no, this is why I cast instead of play, and that's not too bad.
2 wills down, 3 safe. That spearman can hide as well. And I think ACM can wall in the villagers. Now the siege workshop.
Now the siege workshop, yeah, man. Well, we expected the Cumin boom. We talked about what the Turks can do to stop it, but we did not expect that the Cumins would actually be aggressive here, Nili. And this series so far has had some really creative openings, right? Like the first game with the 2 militia from Hera, and now this game where, I mean, I haven't seen this in a long time from the Cumins on fortified clearing, if at all.
After the TC as well, right?
Yep.
Sometimes we've seen tower rush into maybe ramps
the TC.
or the TC later.
Yep.
Yeah. There should be a reasonable wall, and then the monk struggles a bit to actually drop the relic and get home, right?
Yep.
If the tower goes up, we are 1 house away from completely blocking this off.
Yeah. Yeah, and your siege is pretty late. And we could see tons of scouts for ACCM. It is interesting if you look at the resources collected. That's not a good sign for Hera. He's 1,000 resources collected behind, and that was very quick production. Well played. We should do the same with ACCM and be like my face when I see the militia in Dark Age. Yeah. But I mean, the resource difference is already growing, and there's a 30 or so villager lead.
Yeah, and like there won't be any scouts, I thought at least, but because he built the market, could use it a bit more. Okay, now he's buying heavily. Actually, he lost houses, 73 out of 70 now.
Normally, you get a little frustrated. Oh, darn, I got pop capped when you're ahead by 30 vills. Maybe not as frustrating. Nice stubbornness here from ACCM. He actually has the spearman inside of that tower, which is kind of deceiving for Hera if he ever wants to dive in there.
Well, no extra arrows, so he kind of knows, okay, it can't be villagers, can't be archers, so it could be the spearman for some healing there. But ACCM will click up pretty soon, and he gets to kip checks. Right, look at the stone count.
I also think he might try for a forward castle here, Nili. He's got 3 scouts. I'm sure he's going to be tempted to upgrade them and snipe the siege. The gold is right there. Then
we need to build more spearmen.
Yeah.
Right? Because right now we can't really contest the army that Hera is on the field.
This is the temptation I always fall into. I always want to make the 3rd TC with this eco, but then with the Cumins, the longer the game goes, the weaker they feel at times, so it's so tricky. I do think that the Cumins going like Cavalier and Halp could be pretty strong in early imp. I know Turks have their Cav archers, but you got a pretty big eco lead, and you could extend that lead. And here are some engagements in the middle. Good job from Hera to snipe the villager, but great job from ACCM to have the outpost there in the first place.
And yeah, look at that, 2,500 more resources collected right now for ACCM. That really shows how crazy the economy of Cumins is there.
Yep.
And honestly, after we said like tower rush, double TC, his eco won't be great. He has 3 villagers out of TC for 2 CCs.
Yeah, seriously, it's very good. The only thing I'll say is a lot of his farms are going to be reseeding because no horse collar, but you'll take it. It's not that big a deal with you of the economy like this. And, it feels like now maybe the forward castle, since it's not going to happen immediately, maybe we should just see the defensive castle for ACCM.
He is not building too few, right? He added some scouts. Maybe we will see him add like 2 camels, and then forward castle is an option again.
Maybe. I mean, he has the stone to go for town centers and the castle right away. There's this feeling as a player where you want to immediately do something with that stone.
Yeah.
And Hera's going to go for his 2nd TC just now. I think some people
might... And that's fast and behind it. Look at the resources. He's not... He queues 2 camels and that's it.
Ooh.
It's not the wildest one, but he has 7 on stone. He can build another castle behind this.
And like just enough kip checks to hold the map so you can push forward with Trebs and make the next castle, right? Because he's still got a lot of stone income. Normally that stone is outside the walls, the next stone. So I'd actually be curious just to take a glance here, because I'm old and blind here. Outside of ACCM's walls, where's that stone? Is it by the castle?
It's...
Oh, there, okay, it's close enough. And castle's going to go up, and I think it's a good decision to place the castle there. Hera doesn't actually have any real vision on that right now, as he loses the monk, and now he sees the castle. And no imp for ACCM.
Yeah, it's going for the eco upgrades, went for some camels, now kip check, so wants to play the stronger economy. But he's not adding a 3rd or 4th town center, so maybe there's a bit of investment. and then the reasonable imp. Now it's fetching. It's kind of a bit in between worlds, Tristan.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a tough feeling at times, but overall you've got a big lead here, so I don't think you're going to complain. Hera tries to save his monk. He doesn't save the monk.
It's long distance castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Felt like it. Maybe some. That was like.
That was a kip check.
Collateral damage. No, I think the kip check was dead. I think the castle shot the knight, and the extra arrow killed the bomb.
The extra arrow. Yep. I don't know who's inside that castle shooting, but sometimes they're not completely accurate.
We need super slow motion of that monk dying.
Yes, I think that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the main thing we should be talking about right now.
All right, now game should stabilize, right? Oh, he built a castle on the outside.
No. Surely that's a TC on the gold, right?
What gold?
That gold?
One with all the hills?
Well, do you chop the tree? Maybe the stone? He's actually not mining stone. I could see it being stone.
I think he's buying 100 stone. Oh, no, that's a castle, Tristan.
What? With no army
Where's
support?
the monk? Let's see.
Kip
check.
Okay,
all
well,
good, all good.
That was something we've seen 100 times.
Production was on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, yeah, the scout died, but the kip checks were still alive.
I just like, when you're this far ahead, running around to go for a castle behind your opponent's base with no army support feels so bad.
Oh, that's a perfect castle. He doesn't even see the town center and builds it perfect.
Yeah, I have to say,
Hera can't see it.
I think he might though.
Yeah, but he will see it once the TC finishes, obviously.
Yeah. Can he though? Okay.
Yeah, but what is he doing? Like he has 7 knights. Villagers are being sent.
That's that.
He has to wall it in. His villagers. The moment he walls in 2 villagers, he's fine.
What HP is that right now, or what percentage is that at right now?
It's 56.
Oh
That's enough
my
knights.
God! How to
Villagers.
throw a game 101? Go for the second castle. Can he do it,
that's-
Nili? If it goes up, it's brilliant.
He needs to wall in some villagers. He's right-clicking it.
He needs to wall in 1, just 1, and he's fine. If he doesn't wall in any, that castle does not go up.
Uh-oh. 81%.
He's not going to get the walls.
They're so low. Counter castle. Oh, ACCM throws so much incentive here. And Hera's on the way to imp as well. Oh, that was costly.
But like, imagine 2 castles in the middle, double kip check production. You don't lose the villagers. The villagers are collecting resources. You maintain your economy lead. ACCM, I think, because of the brilliance of Hera, is trying to just be super creative, trying to do some things outside of the box there, Nili. But that one, questionable since the moment he decided on it.
Yeah, I forced the issue quite a bit. The thing is, like, if he just walls 1 villager, we said, like, oh, risky, but it paid off, right? So it's like, this is one of the weird scenarios where either decision-making or some better execution could have helped you here.
I think if you're Persians, well, actually, bad example. I was going to say, I think if you're Persians and you're not planning on making elephants, that's worth it. But Hera did make elephants. So let's say, I think if you're, name a unique unit we never see, quick, fast.
Shotel's Ethiopians.
Thank you. I think if you're Ethiopians, it makes sense because you're producing out of archer ranges. But here you're producing out of your castles and relying on this unit. So it was just far too risky for me, man. And ACCM's going forward, Nili. He's sending more. That is being walled in.
And the castle helps out. Yeah, he builds a more defensive one, and Hera can't be too unhappy with that.
Yeah.
And it's so easy now for Hera basically to move his bombard cannons around this wood line and always be in position while ACCM is completely split off.
Hera says, okay, well, I'm defended now. You can't raid me at all. Now I'm going to push the middle area and take that back. Wow, what a game. ACCM with the lead. But I don't have this crazy vision for the game flow, right? I don't know exactly where he's going to push, what he's going to make, and where his focus will be. For Hera, he's going to be on Hussars. First blacksmith upgrade of the game coming in for him, by the way.
Petards?
And who's making petards? What?
Oh, I see 2 petards.
Oh, he wants to finish the castle. Actually?
He wants to break that.
He wants to finish that castle?
No, but he's not producing out of this one.
Oh, great. Oh, no.
Produces out of the one in the... What?
He canceled him, I assume.
Okay.
He canceled him, yeah.
Pikeman switch.
All right, so, I mean, all he's seen from Hera is stable units. Hera starting off with mainly siege. I'm a little disappointed that Hera doesn't have a bombard cannon. I feel like
Cancelled at like 92% or something?
I thank God I don't have to look there anymore. I'm so sad about it. But, like, you know, I'm thinking about this, and, like, Hera doesn't have any bombard cannons yet. And that's normally a big part of what makes Turk strong with this early imp pushback. So we'll see if he does that. He just has Trebs at the moment. And there's kip checks and soon to be pikes in the middle. The Kipchaks have 60 HP. With Kipchaks, it's mainly about timing and cost. They're a very cheap unit, but they don't do a lot of damage, and they do not survive very long against shots, even mangonel shots.
Yeah, they have 40 HP without bloodlines, right?
Yep.
So a mangonel shot actually kills them. Knights now diving, castle fire really good against them. Technically, ACCM would love to get to Halberdier Ram against this army composition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even Halb Kipchak, I don't hate that much. Good micro here from ACCM as he takes out one of the mangonels. He is losing his Kipchaks, but he's going to take out... Oh, man, these things. They're paper, and they do damage. A great raid there from Hera. Hera now only 10 villagers behind. I don't know where that villager's going. He's not going to survive, but Hera's pushing back.
Okay, that center not super crucial, right? We have resources on the outside. There's no relics to gather there for Hera anymore. So I actually think this fight, yeah, it is obviously nice to have that control, but this won't decide the game.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking at the way this game's shaping up. Neither player can focus on the north right now because they're so distracted, and they both have castles in that other flank. I feel like it could swing the game pretty massively, and still waiting to see if the upgrades will come in for Hera. His castle's actually been extremely important here. His castle's probably has like a dozen kills right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, not unlikely.
7, 12, same difference.
We will get there, I believe. Halberdiers are still under there. Maybe you just looked into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm real good at that. Kipchaks are probably going to die if there's not more support. And, I mean, they're going to go... Can they get the trap there?
Doesn't look like it. 2 villager repair, more Janissaries dying, and now we are at 12 kills for the castle.
Yeah, there we go. And the Kipchaks haven't survived much longer. Hera has some Janissaries behind that, which is great against all the units that ACCM's throwing at him. And the castle does go down for both players there. So nice little 50-50 trade. I think now this might benefit ACCM because Hera's castle is actually benefiting a lot in that fight.
That's all that you get for Kipchaks, right? That's the 15. Like you have a castle at the bottom, 6 in the queue there, but just getting the reinforcement in the center will be so tricky for him. I
like this though. Like use the Kipchaks against the gunpowder, and then the Halbs can clear up the rest. That's the outlook. Neither player with an attempt to move their trebuchets away. Hera's going to lose all these.
Well, ACM will lose a lot of his as well. Not impossible that both players will survive with 2 of them. No, Hera loses at least 1.
Man, I will say this, win or lose this game, ACCM has made this game chaotic, hasn't he, right?
Yeah,
it's not the clean game that Hera was able to get in the first one as he keeps the gate open, he'll kill the villagers, and he takes the treb. Hera has no trebuchets now. What a play. Oh, okay, well.
Dives in.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Open the door.
Oh, yeah. It is back to 2 castles, is building the 3rd one, so Kipchak numbers at 1 point are an option. But the economy setup for ACCM behind it is not super pretty. Only 27 farmers.
And like Hera's got a stable there. The Kipchaks, they were great when there were Halbs in front, but now they're going to get taken out. Hera also has 4 relics, Nili.
Palisade, nice trap there. All the Kipchaks should die.
Yeah, they should. It almost looks like he's looking for a king right now.
Yeah, and the king could be in the tower.
Oh, man. Well, the ACCM, 150 population.
Oh, he opened the walls, maybe. Can he get out with some Kipchaks? I think he was aiming for it, but so many shots
he hit the wall, yeah. Also, I want to see what's happening with the castle in the south there. Okay, so Hera's just sending hussars that way. Hera's not making any siege, like 0 siege. I'm a little concerned for him that he's not going to be able to breathe, really. Obviously, the raids in the west are going to be super important, but now that ACCM's through, didn't have ballistics, didn't have second armor, so his units are a whole lot stronger now. I'm just still not seeing a whole lot from Hera right now.
Yeah, castle, really nicely positioned here. We'll deal with that, especially like ballistics was so important for him.
Yep.
This will be some nice raid, and that army in the center looks pretty deadly.
Yep. What a game. Shaping up to be an amazing day of Age of Empires 2. If you just got here, welcome. The first 2 best of 5s. Can I say what game they went to?
Result, yeah.
Spoilers, they were amazing, and they went to the 5th game. And the way this is shaping up, this could be back and forth as well, as Hera tries to get to the Trebs, and he says, I can't do it. Calls the GG, and it's 1-1.
Wow, what a crazy game from ACM. The tower, the extra town center into the tower rush, and then they were so close, and Jordan apparently really happy about that result.
Or he's happy to be on camera?
It seems like he called it. That's like, feels like Viper said Hera wins, Jordan said ACM wins. Jordan was right once.
That's what I look like after I cast a game with Dave and Kipchaks look good. And then I don't know if we had anyone sulking.
He hates kip checks, right?
He hates them.
Oh, I had a cast with him as well where I was hyping kip checks and he was like, and it's such a bad unit.
And then meanwhile, it's like every top player who's here is playing kip checks with humans.
Yeah.
It's situational, though. I'll give him that.
What? Okay, I thought just Mr. Yo had like 15 stickers on his, but that's a T-shirt.
What's it say? Okay.
Unknown.
He said, I don't know, and then it actually said unknown on it. Well, I'm not really sure how to phrase this, so viewers are going to have to bear with me on this. But in that game, ACCM went for something which went horribly wrong, right? It was the castle, and it was the 95% denial, had to delete it, lost a lot of stone. But it added to the chaos. It added to how awkward that game was for Hera. I think you maybe need to do some suboptimal things at times, obviously on the back of some good optimization and good economy, against a player like Hera, who's always playing so clean, right? Would you agree with that statement, or would you say that he's going to look back at that and say that was a mistake?
I agree with your statement, but I think the castle situation is a bad example for it.
Okay.
Because that was a clear mistake, right?
Okay.
But like you could take the same game, right, and go for the tower rush.
Yeah.
On a map where we already start with stone walls, go for humans on this map where like there are a lot of openings against Turks, right? And he made it messy, he made it wild, so your point still stands.
Yeah.
And he just from the early game had such a big advantage.
Yeah.
Right? Cut off
really
the
good.
stone, was forced into the super late mangonels from Hera, and then he had the crazy advantage. And there he was so far ahead that he could even have stuff like the castle happen and still had to push through the center.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Hera, like, you play a couple dozen games, you practice a lot of strategies, probably not one that his practice partners really played up against him, right? Like, it definitely doesn't seem like something he would. And we kind of saw that with the...
Jordi, what happened? Why were you so happy?
So I had a bet with Liereyy and Viper at minute 20.
Jordan is saying that... take a mic, quickly say. Like
on the
couch. And production will figure out which is the right mic. Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can
right
you-
mic.
okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So literally, I had a bet with Liereyy and Viper at game minute 20. I was saying this game will last until 40 minutes maximum,
Yeah.
and they were saying no, it's going to be an hour game. And then we had a little bet going on,
Yeah.
and then the longer the game took after the castle,
Yeah.
then everyone was like, okay, at least 1 hour. And I was like, I believe in the 40 minutes. And then he resigned. I was like, 37, let's go.
Oh, that's great.
A win for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Jordan is happy.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a little different than that. It very much looked like maybe he was instead the cheering that, Hera had lost or ACCM had won. But anyways, we should have the third game pretty shortly here, Nili. I'd love to see the draft and see the civilizations and the maps. It might even be in the game, but it looks like they're just planning.
Well, I think if ACM is in the game, he's a great mind controller.
Oh, because he's playing with one hand?
Yeah.
You don't do that?
Zero hands against Hera.
You don't do that?
No.
Okay.
I play with hotkeys.
What's a hotkey? Why would you? Never mind. Well, we have Hera with
Moras.
Hippo
Moras
Arena
next.
and
95% sure.
that's how you say it, Morris. Morris.
How would you want to pronounce it?
Well, if you say it really slow, it's like more ass. And okay, all right, I got you. Well, one dumb statement is responded to with another. That's perfect. Thank you, Nili. But you're saying that's a must pick for Hera. Why?
Emotionally. Like, distance yourself from a map with walls.
Okay.
Right? Hippo Arena, after this, it's just like, it feels the same. You get into the same mindset. And, like, Moras is, like, one of the dream maps for Hera, right? Pretty much impossible to wall. And he loves all the aggression. Goes for a really strong aggressive civilization.
Gotcha. Well, Bulgarians, a civilization we saw so frequently in this on this map in Red Bull, right? Obviously, Red Bull started in Feudal Age, so I think you could take advantage of the Bulgarian bonuses a bit more there. But here you have the militia line upgrades free. I don't know if town center cost is going to be a big thing, but definitely the blacksmith upgrades, working faster and being cheaper, will be a big thing in this game.
And we often have seen people open with men-at-arms here, simply because you can't really hide with your villagers, right? The distance is relatively short. You can't really quick wall around them, and therefore men-at-arm aggression, something just paying off so quickly.
It's also worth noting that the best defense from early men-at-arms is early walling. And it is extremely difficult to get the palisade walls down on the shorefish there. You can do it, but there's certain aspects of that terrain that does not allow the walls. And when it's a quick wall, it needs to work, right? And if you accidentally hover a palisade over the improper tile, you could get punished for it.
Yeah, and like, it's just like those men-at-arms also, like if you don't finish the walls, they will just chew through it as well.
Yep.
It just becomes really, really tricky. Instant scout here for ACCM, and he will know where to build the barracks and where to go with the aggression.
Can you, because you get the forging upgrade for free.
Hudson flies in with 50 gifted subs.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Can you go for man-at-arms yourself here if you're Magyars?
You get +1 attack,
Yep.
but you have to invest into the full upgrade, 100 food, 40 gold, and it takes some time.
Yep.
Right, so it is tricky. We have seen that as the answer by Magyars, but I think the Hera approach, what I would think is pop 18, try to outmass your opponent with scouts.
Yep, yep. And maybe even if you have to an early tower, I don't think Hera would shy away from that here. But there you have it, civilization bonuses for the Magyars. Forging, Iron Casting, and Blast Furnace being free. That is, of course, Feudal Age, Castle Age, and Imp. And then the scouts are pretty cheap as well. So, you know, it's weird. If you go for the Man-at-Arms, I get it, Nili, because it's like you then, the traditional follow-up to Man-at-Arms is Archers, because you don't typically have the food to go scouts. You want to be making scouts with the Magyars, right?
Yeah, as I said, like some people tried Men-at-Arms. I think Magugu played Men-at-Arms then, but faced like 20 Men-at-Arms. Like the transition is just so ugly out of it.
Yep. I hear the little scout conflict somewhere, and there it is.
That's good for ACCM. If he gets into a fight here before the opponent gets the extra attack,
Yep.
he will take it.
Yeah, but obviously opponent is going to be up a little bit faster as well, so that extra attack is going to come in, and it's extra attack on top of the extra attack you get in Feudal Age. So I think ACCM's got to back away.
And ACCM sees the late barracks, so
Yep.
he now confirms, okay, you are going scouts. Although, could this be a timing for pop 20 Men-at-Arms as well?
Steal the
can't rule
turkeys.
it out.
Steal them. Steal them. Steal the turkeys. It's Thanksgiving at ACCM's base. Thanks taking, actually, I guess, but...
Oh!
Yeah, Nili, it's not often I get that big a grin from Nili when I say something, so I'm very happy with that one.
I love that one.
Oh, man. The greatest compliment, Nili, is your smile.
Nice.
Well, Hera knows as well now, right? So everything's been confirmed for the most part. And you just don't know how many are in there. That's the scary thing. It could be 4. Could even be 5. I wouldn't mind 4 in a Spearman, but
Yeah,
here they
the
come.
one Goth game. I think that was Mihai against Magugu. Probably the best game of the qualifier. I have that as a highlight on YouTube. It was like 25 or 30 militia in Dark Age. Complete madness. Like I think he went triple barracks in Dark Age there.
Wow. Yeah, I think I seem to recall him doing something similar in another map recently. So we'll see if maybe Goths will be picked when there's a lot of bans, Nili. I could easily see it. Oh, when there's 4 bans.
We have seen GL players go for Goth on Rocky Forest as well.
Yep. Look at the way Hera has built up his walls.
Spearman behind this.
This looks like a great position for Hera to just negate any possible damage here. And there was a game earlier, if you saw it, between Nicov and Yo. It was the first game, Man-at-Arms versus Scouts. And Nicov stayed home for a while, right? He was scared to move out. I love how Hera's counterattacking, but I also love how ACCM says, you're not going to have villagers in that TC. They should just keep going around.
What a good house.
Oh, wow, that was so well played from Hera.
Is this how the map is supposed to be played? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Are the Men-at-Arms going around the whole circle? It would just take like 3 minutes, right? You can't do that.
I think you need immediate damage, Nili. And with that, I would love to see attacking that stable.
I think running through the town center is the play. Because
as
on
well.
this map, no one should ever have a villager under the town center.
Yep. Ooh, Hera takes some hits there. So it's going to be Spearman defense for ACCM. Remember, the food is crucial. We're not going to see the farm transitioning in this game.
If ACCM combines his army, 5 Men-at-Arms, 3 Spearmen, it's impossible to kill this army.
Yeah, but it is also very slow. Hera has the time, and Hera's scouts are able to find these Man-at-Arms. I wonder if he's going to notice that armor's in. I'm also unsure on how much of an effect that's going to have here. Because normally 6 scouts versus 5 Men-at-Arms, you're starting to think, once I get to the 7th scout here, I'm going to take an engagement against those Men-at-Arms.
There was a mistake by ACCM. I think he had like 6 on gold, so the waypoint was a bit off there. Now the forward tower, not pushing those villagers away too far, right?
Yep.
They can easily go to the other setup where we already have them.
Yeah, and I think Hera just realized, I actually don't need to defend that because I'm not going to have fish here anymore. I'm going the other direction. So I like the decision there from Hera to just kind of save the stone for the tower. The question then is he going to go for a counterattack, or is he going to clear up these Man-at-Arms? And he seems undecided, but I believe his scouts are headed over there. There he is. Beautiful little fish mod there.
just to click them a bit easier,
Yep.
and he wants to go for the counter attack. Let's take a look. Now send some villagers onto gold. How will ACM react? Oh, he won't look at it.
Yeah, but his spearmen
at
are
the front.
hitting, which is nice.
Ooh.
He obviously has team colors, so he's blue as well. So just to erase any confusion from you guys. But, you know, he's got enough there. Obviously, ACCM back in red. But the shore fish efficiency, not pretty. Here he comes. He's not on stone nearly, so he can't make another tower.
Only 4 scouts there. Now forging coming in. Needs to build the defensive tower.
Yeah. You need some walls here as well. ACCM should see those vills and engage. Those villagers are going to be saved. Great reaction time from ACCM. And Hera's got to be careful here. He could lose scouts and he could lose villagers, but his tower will complete.
And arms a bit split. They're not really focusing on anything. Spearman out of position. Hera can take this fight.
Oh, and Hera kind of lured him out of position as well, and then the tower will go up, which will also do damage. Great move there from Hera. He has all of his scouts home now. Does he want to fight this?
Well, he now
He's
easily
gonna fight
wins
it.
this one.
Yeah, big clear up there from Hera. And, you know, for ACCM all game long, the problem has been you have the units, you just cannot find the position to do damage with them. And now Hera is going to be even more confident to move forward and counterattack. That one tower pretty much stops any type of infantry push. I'm seeing the spearman count right now for ACCM. I'm a little concerned it's not enough, actually, because some of the spearmen are forward right now.
Yeah.
So having just 2 or 3 spearmen at home is not enough against Bloodline scouts with forging.
13 on the field. Bloodlines will be in there pretty soon. I think Hera will dance a bit. Maybe try to take 1 villager kill, then go for Bloodlines, and then make the big attack happen. And Tristan, the next 5 seconds belong to you.
Supplies. Why does every time that tech comes in, I've got to say it?
Say it.
Supplies. He's going to go for more man-at-arms. Nili, it's the unit that hasn't been working, though, right? It's not like, ooh, yay. You know, he's going to try and make cheaper man-at-arms. It's, ooh, that doesn't look like it will work.
Oh, that's a nice quick wall, though.
Yeah.
Spearmen, how many hits do they get in? 1 yoink, and that's it. And yeah, men-at-arms, they're not really scaling well into the late game. Look at the resources of Hera.
Yeah, Hera says, I don't need more scouts.
Wow.
My opponent has to invest so much to just simply stop me from killing him. He's used a lot of patience here, and he certainly looks threatening, right? It's not like he ran off into the corner with his scouts. No, he's been here keeping an eye on everything the entire time, and Hera's going to time this nicely. It seems like he's going to head up towards the Castle Age. If Hera can get to Lycav and Hera can get to Knights, this is going to get so much worse for ACCM. ACCM has to find some damage before Castle Age comes in.
Does ACM have a hole between the wall and the lumber camp? Can you get in there? Feels like there might be a potential one.
Well, he's losing a whole lot of villagers on the stone, but that's going to be 2 down.
I think there could be a hole, Tristan.
It might be over-chopping in a second.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think
You
Scouts
should
can
check
get in.
that here, though. He'll check that. He knows.
I don't think.
He knows.
I think he.
There's no hole then, because neither player's seen it. What could be there, though? A tree? No, that's not. We need more zoom. Focus.
Closer.
Zoom, focus.
Where? Like, is that not open?
Maybe they just had a gentleman's agreement not to use that tile.
Okay.
That seems realistic to me.
Yeah. Could that both stood true to their word?
Scouts coming in here. ACCM kind of going awkwardly over there to the shorefish. You could tell the villagers were hesitant about it. I could have just been pathing, of course, but they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to go closer to where the scouts are going to be coming in. Hera massing more scouts. We'll definitely see the Lycav upgrade in his future. And again, it just takes so long for ACCM to kill villagers here, but he's going to get one there. And great, we have to say, great defense from him to have not lost more to these scouts.
Yeah. Oh, but that quick wall was reasonable. Gets away with that Vil.
Yep.
It's really solid.
Yeah, Spearman. Hera, I like that. It thought about chasing in.
3rd barracks?
3rd barracks. Supplies pays off after about 10 militia, so he's getting close. And Hera taking a fight before Castle Age, probably the worst thing he could do, but look at him lure those spearmen away. He's done this multiple times this game. A bit sloppy, all things considered.
I'm a bit surprised as well. Didn't he want to go for Lightcav? He still goes for more scouts. So yeah, could have waited a bit more, gets the extra attack for free, and then could have taken a better fight, especially if he wanted to go for Lightcav.
Yeah, I think he's distracted. I think he's distracted on his food eco right now, and he was reacting there possibly. What do you think about Hera going like Cav Archers here? He's got tons of wood. He's got some gold floating.
I think with a short distance, you can even go for crossbows, and just like 5 alone would do something.
Yep.
But I think he will just overwhelm with knights, and maybe just a siege workshop there.
Yeah, I could see that.
2 Scorpions, and you can't lose a fight.
Yeah, he's making something at home right now. He's still no light cav upgrade. It's not that expensive of an upgrade. It's 150 food and 50 gold. And he is dropping an archer range now. So ACCM in Feudal Age. Going to kill a villager there. That's a 3rd villager he's killed. Unfortunately for him, he's lost 10. And, you know, Hera, I expected a little more in early castle. He's going to take this fight. This is a good fight for ACCM.
Don't mind it either. Like, no light cav. It just surprises us so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a case of he probably believes he clicked it. Certainly at this point, he realizes that maybe it's not worth it for me, but I think he clicked that upgrade and then queued Knights, or queued Knights and then queued the upgrade. But still, Hera, a massive lead in this game,
And
right?
now I feel like CA makes a bit more sense again, right?
Yep.
Because now you lost your units, now CA become more of a crucial part of your army,
Yep.
and then the mobility makes so much more sense.
Yep. Yeah, Bloodlines, which you research for the scouts, applies to the cav archers. Your opponent's still stuck in feudal. And also, if you do get pushed off the food, and it doesn't look like that'll actually happen to Hera here, even though ACCM's trying, you don't really need the food for cav archers, right?
Look at all the low HP units here.
A good micro from Hera there to save some of the weak ones. And tower will go up for both players, but man, it's just like the food eco. You're just stuck here. Like, you can't go to Castle Age if you're ACCM, because if you try to do that, you'll just get overrun by army, and it's just this never-ending cycle. Should say, again, the positive is Hera isn't killing his eco. Well, okay, he just killed a couple villagers there, but he's not killing significant amounts of eco. He's just chipping away.
13 actually, and ACCM also 2 minutes of idle time, so that's basically minus 17, as if like you were not playing against a proper opponent.
Yep.
I think that's tricky to come up. Like, how is he closing the deficit? Because if he wants to go to Castle Age, that's another 6 vills that he will be down.
Yeah, not with infantry at this point, but he can't try anything else because other Feudal Age units would probably be worse. And a lot of desperation here for ACCM. And you had mentioned before this game that Hera would go for this
It was
map.
a hole. Look at that. He just deleted the foundation, and there's no deletion.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, that's pretty rare that both players would miss that in the instance where we saw that, right?
Yeah.
The ACCM, oh, he's so desperate here because he knows how far behind he is. He's going to run underneath the tower. This might lead to a GG call here. I think the spearmen are going to die to the tower, and those villagers could go down. Ay.
Still reasonable numbers. I think he sends more, but 2 knights. Oh, they should find quite some damage. And CA can camp under the tower as well. It's not pretty.
Yeah, it's not pretty at all. Hera, at this point, still doesn't have Bodkin Arrow. It's certainly been another messy game, something we said ACCM needed to try and do. So that much is a positive for him.
HP on those villagers would be interesting. Seems like they don't have a lot of confidence in finishing that tower.
No. I saw their friends go down, I'd be leaving too. But it's not really that safe at home either if Hera continues to send knights and cav archers that direction. And Hera converting a spearman. Great value on the monk. Monk's healing up, and again, it just feels like the GG is moments away here.
Oh yeah, army value. Look at that, 245 against 1.3k, and ACCM has to call the GG. Hera takes the 2-1 lead.
All right, so Hera, immediate response. You had mentioned...
Resources destroyed, 5k against 2k.
Whew. Yeah, you had mentioned, like, it would be a great emotional choice for Hera to go for that map, so he could just immediately put some pressure on, and that's precisely what he did there. For me, I think there was a little bit of hesitancy from ACCM. I would argue that in his practice games, and I'm sure he's practiced, I know he's maybe practiced more than most, he never had anyone just house wall and stable wall towards the TC like that. Because, like, I was thinking tiny little palisade walls as reaction to the man-at-arms, and I'm sure that the tower man-at-arms spearman play would have worked if there wasn't that nice little natural wall. So that was interesting.
The thing is, if ACCM goes the other way around, ACCM wins this game, right? Because Hera needed those 1.5 minutes, buying him time that the men-at-arms needed to go around to get to the proper scout count. If the men-at-arms are coming from the right side, those villagers are exposed, need to go away from Shorefish. He might have to fight with them, loses like... He has the choice, basically, run home or lose like 2-3 builds.
It is worth mentioning, though, where was Hera's scout when the militia were coming out of the barracks? He saw the direction that the militia would come. He saw the barracks location, so he knew the army's probably coming this way. He prepped it. Maybe it would have been worth it for ACCM to loop around, obviously. So, anyways, great series here. The games have been insane all day.
Sick.
I mean, the way today is gone, ACCM is surely going to respond here with a victory. And we're going to go to a game 5. And I would go directly for Northern Isles. You could consider to pick Hera's home map, Hippo Arena. I would avoid that. Even though you won Fortified Clearing, I'd be all over Northern Isles here. And if it's Northern Isles, Nili, do you think we see the Dravidians or the Byzantines for ACCM?
I'm a Byzantine fan. I've also seen Dravidians being picked on that one quite often. Italians feels like a natural counter or like natural response from Hera there. But Hippo Arena is where I'm getting a bit scared for ACCM.
Yep.
Like Dravidians, not great. Byzantines don't excite me that much. And then are we ending up with AdSex on Hippo Arena? I don't think they should perform well against Bengalis.
All right. Next level prediction here.
Nice,
we
nice.
see Dravidians for ACCM. He's up against Hera's Italians. It's a long game, but ACCM wins when he has 30 Teresa die on the map. Okay. We go to Arena. It'll be Byzantines versus Bengalis. And that game will go for 3 hours. And Nili will have to figure out what we do with the schedule. We either go till 5 a.m. local time or we shift some things around. Like, I feel like these matchups here could give us some really good games and some very long games as well. But no, I agree with you. You know, just to get a bit more serious, like, big question marks for me on what you play on Hippo Arena. Oh.
Just imagine now he's sneezing.
As if it wasn't weird in the first place, you're going to pick the guy's nose. Thank you for that.
To itch him a bit.
Oh.
Didn't
Well, he
want to
didn't-
go inside
He
there.
didn't feel it. Oh.
Did you want to move away from it
It's
and
really,
moved in? Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a feel for that, all right? Anyways, ACCM, he knows what's at stake here. He knows how important it is to open up with 3 wins in this best of 5. He's going to need 2 more. He cannot lose. Otherwise, he will lose this series. Here we go. We are in. Just heard that little board die underneath ACCM's TC, and it's Dravidians versus Bengalis.
What? So we play Italians on
Arena.
Hippo Arena?
I think he does. Italians are good on Arena. I think they fall into the category of underrated. I think they suit Hera's style. But
Italians against Byzantines? Is that like...
well,
I'm not
is it
excited.
better? Like, but is Bengalis or is what's the other pick Hera has? Is that much better than Italians against Byzantines? I don't think
I
so.
think Bengalis is better, yeah.
Okay, well, use Bengalis or
Crazy economy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, something to talk about, right? If Hera loses this game, he has not gone for what many consider to be the #1 water civilization in the game, in the Italians. But I remember it was in Red Bull, Hera had a lot of faith in the Bengalis. They have a unique bonus where their ships will heal, which is extremely helpful. And you can see some of the other bonuses there on the screen. Ships regenerate would be the way to say it. But you know, the other bonus that's helpful is that you get 2 villagers from your town center when you arrive to the next age. And on this map, your land base is separate from the other on an island. So it's really hard for ACCM to really catch up in eco.
Yeah, so basically 2 villages for free, and Dravidians, obviously they have quite some bonuses for themselves as well, plus 200 wood.
Yep.
Once you get to the next age. That's really nice, can instantly drop the 3rd dock if you wanted to go for some aggression. Fishermen, fishing ships are more efficient as well, plus you save a house for every dock you build.
Yep, so dock play maybe a bit easier. The issue I have with Dravidians is also the issue that I have with the Bengalis, and that if the going gets rough, they don't have knights to counterattack. You know, they don't have any way to run in and kill a lot of villagers. So that aspect of this gets a little interesting, right? 0 knights in this game.
But is that such an important thing on Northern Isles?
I think so, right? You have a transport ship, which is scouting around, I'm sure, for both players. You could always just sneak a stable up, kill a couple of villagers on a wood line. We've very frequently seen like siege pushes. Knights can be helpful there. Now it's probably going to be like siege monk, and both civilizations could go like Kev if they need to.
Yeah, and I think like if we get to like siege plus monk, Bengalis should be ahead there.
Agreed.
Like,
Yep.
clearly the better monastery for them, and it's not unlikely that we will see people go for monasteries relatively early, simply because you spawn with 2 relics so close to your starting TC.
Did you see anyone go fast castle on this map in the qualifier?
No,
No? Okay.
I don't remember.
It was just a thought. I mean, I think if the transport wasn't already created for you, I think it would be almost a no-brainer with certain civilizations on a back dock. But I figured I'd ask because it's something that kind of came to mind to me when the fishing ships were on the back like that. But now that you have the transport ship, we might even see militia hop into that transport ship here in a second for ACCM. Probably not, but he's headed to gold. He's got the barracks already, and there's militia. He's making militia. This is going to be late, but it could surprise Hera.
Yeah, and 2 men-at-arms alone could be really nice, right? You're saving some of the resources. Scout out there already.
Is that a villager that he just sent across?
No, scouts.
Scouts. Okay, sorry.
But how many militias are you committing to?
I think you might as well go 3. By the time the transport's there, you'll have the 3rd one. Maybe that's how you view it.
And
Hera.
we didn't talk a bit about it because it is a water map, but Dravidians, their men-at-arm upgrade is cheaper.
It is, yes. Woo!
we didn't think about mentioning that one, though.
I think Hera's going fast castle. I don't think he's going to have the resources right away.
500 food. Quick wall. Ooh, wanted to go for some.
He had one of the houses in a good position there. Gets Loom, which is going to be more helpful than he knows.
Goes for galleys. I think it is just...
Okay, back dock galleys.
It won't be such a quick uptime here. He's scared of a landing, though. Rightfully so.
But he's not expecting units themselves. He's expecting a villager to make buildings over there, right? Because that's the more common approach. Let's see if Hera can save this scout. We could have a quick wall attempt here any moment, and you could see the villager dies there, and that's good. And now Hera goes, I'm going to go attack that scout. And now he sees the militia. And let's see the damage control from him. Instant reaction with the gate. I think the gate could go down pretty quickly, though.
Against 3
I'm really surprised that ACCM just fell back. I think he should be attacking that gate.
Okay, maybe he felt okay, can easily pull a lot of villagers there, and I think we need to see some more walls towards the berries. Sees a wild villager.
Yeah, he did see that villager. Oh, man. Well, men-at-arms are going to loop around, and what this does do is it makes Hera think twice on what he spends his wood on, right? Because he might want a barracks, he might want an archery range. He's housed at the moment, and this is some chaos. Now, again, ACCM's in blue now because he's using team colors, so both players are in view when we go to their point of views. But he's making archers from home. He's made a fire galley here. And so far, so good for Hera. He hasn't taken any losses.
Yeah. Really solid reaction there. And yeah, just only the one villager going down to the scout. But after that, not too much. And he still didn't build a barracks against this.
This is the same
Archers
thing.
are coming.
Yeah, this is the same thing, though, that ACCM did. Is that transport week? Or is there...
No, the unit next to it is
Oh, the scout inside.
Yeah.
This is the theme, though, for ACCM. This is 2 straight games where he's gone for men-at-arms, and he keeps looking for damage. And I would prefer he just attack the building, attack some houses, and apply some type of pressure. But, you know, it's keeping Hera honest. Hera will have to stop those archers from coming across here. If you go to Hera's scouting, he already knew about the back dock, so he's sending his ships now to the fishing ships of ACCM. ACCM looking to defend that, but what that also means is that Hera won't be able to stop the archers, Nili.
Yeah, and maybe this is the moment, if you know the opponent is microing, then send the men-at-arms in under the town center.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, actually the micro is better.
It went the other way around. But is Is it, you know? Yeah, it's a really good point. Those archers would be so helpful there. But you see what I mean? Now Hera has to react by repairing that house, and it becomes awkward for him to do everything at once here. And that's the thing we say about the galleys, is it's just so micro-intensive.
How many villages do you think it's good to queue in Feudal Age?
10.
Okay.
11, actually.
Okay. 10, actually.
ACC, okay, yeah. I knew where you were going with that. But, you know, that's just ACCM trying to focus so much on so many different things, but I think the archers are on the way.
But he probably thinks, damn, I can't afford fletching.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's 3 archers.
I don't know if he has the blacksmith, though, to be fair. He's making a lot of ships.
Actually, 12.
And the archers are on the way, I think. This is so messy for us, so hard for us to follow. There we go.
And fletching would do so
much damage here.
Yeah.
I also, if you're sending the archers, please send a Vill, right? Have a villager there, even if the villager's just making houses, Nili.
Wall stuff in.
Just, yeah, wall stuff in and have it there for the later stages.
Yeah. Get in their head. Scout lost. Hera so active there.
Yeah.
You can't quick wall that villager. You can't wall on the stony, rocky area. But actually, ACM doesn't see it.
Yeah, he might in a second.
Transporter.
And now Hera should consider some Navy going towards the center. And just to deny some of the transporting that's happening here from ACCM. And there's an archer range for Hera. So, I mean, it's an interesting game. 5 fishing ships still alive for ACCM. He is sailing away from them in the south. So if he could get a dock up somewhere else and keep them working, that'd be
Has
great.
them in the center, so likely scenario to go in there.
Yep.
And Hera's only on 1 single gold, and the archers could maybe go for that area.
Yep. I like Hera's defense here, though, Nili. I mean, he's had a lot to be up against here, and now he's going to make his own range unit. So I don't think the transport's going to do too much damage. That villager, she disagrees. She will die.
Will she? She will.
Yes, she will.
Fletching now.
Yeah, fletching, very helpful upgrade, and fishing ships still not working for ACCM, or I guess the correct way to say it would be they're not close to a dock, but they do carry a lot more.
Ah, yeah, true.
They do carry a lot of stuff, and also there's a fire galley on Hera's fish. Oh man, I think Hera noticed that because it seems like he pulled the one fishing ship away, but he does need some navy there. I'd like to see a couple of his own fire galleys. Like, you have enough galleys, just get some fires out, they're much easier to use.
Would you say a Dravidian fishing ship is like doubt in team games?
Yes.
They carry a lot.
Thank you for putting 2 and 2 together there, Nili. Oh, man. I mean, I wonder how Hera's feeling about this game at the moment, because he's defended very nicely, but he hasn't killed the fishing ships. Right? The eco KD is not insane.
Healing just won the 1v1 there.
He did find the fishing ships in the middle. His fishing ship there could go down. He's still got some random units to deal with. Does have some archers and does have some skirms. So it's great value from ACCM. Such good unit control. I really thought that his landing would have gone down by now. But he doesn't have a villager over there. He defends his fishing ships again, and I think this is going to be full water in the mid game.
Yeah, feels like it, right? It was really messy, and it's still like ACM has more options than Hera here, right?
Yep.
He's just so limited. He doesn't have the control in the center to maybe go for re-landing. In ACM, he can now decide, do I want to go for 5 crossbows and land you at a different spot again? And Hera needs to answer kind of blindly to it.
Yep. What do you call someone who makes a mistake with the Dravidians?
What do you call it?
A Dravidiot.
Nice.
I was like, I gotta say it now. You know, I didn't find the best of times for it, but anyways, archers are gonna clear this up. That gold area is really awkward, actually. Like,
Yeah.
if there would have been a landing there, crossbowmen behind that wood line on both sides could have been problematic.
Yeah.
There's a TC now for Hera, so he's gonna go double TC, and I like it, right?
He's well protected.
I like it, yeah, he's very well protected. He still has lots of navy. He is going to transport a scout, which might freak me out if I'm ACCM, because I think there's going to be more with that.
Yeah.
It still is the galleys here. Snipes a villager, snipes a fishing ship. Great job from Hera looking to close out this series.
KD 17-7. Just look at the resources destroyed there. Killed triple the amount of resources of his opponent.
Yep. Worth mentioning, if you didn't notice it already, that ACCM did sell all of his stone to go up to the next stage. He's just mined some now so we could drop the second town center, but still, man, I'd love to see a demo from Hera queued up at home right now on the backside, because those fires are coming. That would be gorgeous. Scout goes down. Again, I'd be paranoid, though, if I'm ACCM, so he might be looking around. A good game here and a game that could go late.
Yeah, not unlikely. And then we obviously have to ask the questions like, how late is it going? How are the advantages looking then? If we get to 30 die, we think Dravidian should win the water, but it's kind of unlikely to go into an even game because typically the one with the better economy, in this case, the Bengali player, gets the center control, and then it gets tricky to control the water.
And really, it is just transitional stuff, right? Like, Hera prefers to be a little bit more defensive in early feudal and opt for the farms. ACCM has been the aggressor in this series. Obviously, very map dependent. And Hera's going to lose a couple fishing ships back here. It's kind of hard to see the difference between the players there, but there's still more red back there.
So some more raids, indeed, and villager-wise, solid 11 ahead there. Intercept some of the fishing ships.
That's nice.
Hera was at 9.
Yeah, that's really nice. Some good finds there from ACCM. I think we're seeing the weakness of the galleys right now because they always have to be in that big clump. They're good if you have the clump up against the ships, but ACCM has been able to use mobility a bit more. And still, though, I mean, Hera can make his own fires. He's got 9 fires. It's 11 for ACCM, so Hera's fire numbers are strong, and Hera's making a lot of eco. So I think advantage Hera for the time being, Nili. But question for you. I'm sure you remember it, but do you remember the Hera... shoot, who did he play in this? I don't remember clearly. Do you remember? It was the semifinals of Red Bull.
Red Bull
Hera,
6 or 5?
The most recent Red Bull.
That was a semi against TaToH, yeah?
Semi against TaToH, yep. It was Bengalis for Hera, and it was Koreans for TaToH. Do you remember the issue for Hera in that game? Because he was in a similar position. Well, towers certainly, but it went to 165 Vils. He had like 40 ships in queue. A bit of an overboom from him and didn't prioritize the water control. And I love this from Hera. He's continuing to take out the docks. He's going to transport just 3 archers. These 3 archers are getting more value than all of ACCM's man-at-arms and archers did. But yeah, I bring that up because if Hera continues like this, drops a castle in the center, goes up to Imp, and has proper Navy numbers, I think it's going to be very difficult for ACCM to bring this one back.
Yeah, and it's just like the economy is just so much better, right?
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
And also, if we go to Imp, another additional 6, 8, maybe even 10 villagers there, so more
did you not notice that?
He sent the villagers back home, but now sent them back. And he has only 1 skirm at home. So those 3 archers in the economy of ACM. Okay, 1 skirm does the job.
Yeah, 1 skirm doing the job. Really what both players are looking at is the Navy right now. Hera 31 on food now.
Could be good demo. I think it could be cleared up regardless, but...
Oh, that's a huge demo. Nice.
Taking it.
Yeah. And unfortunately for ACCM, his ships do not regenerate, so they're going to be weak forever, most likely. This is almost forward castle on the opponent's island territory for Hera. A lot of players don't do it. He's setting the 4 TC.
No. Hera should build the castle in the center.
Yeah, I agree. But like, if you have that shoreline and the stone and gold is there, sometimes it's almost too tempting.
Ah, that's what you mean. Okay, okay. But you're controlling that anyways.
That's true. Yeah, it's a fair point. And like, we've seen instances on island games where someone goes for the forward castle, and then it gets strebbed down, and then we say later on, why didn't you secure the middle? So, absolutely. And you want to secure the middle more so on this map than a traditional islands game because there's so much stone and gold there.
Although I've seen people commit to neutral islands in the center and islands quite a bit as well.
Really?
Like even in Feudal Age, they're committed heavily.
I've never seen that. That's crazy.
I could show you a wreck.
Okay, well, Hera dropping the forward dock. And Hera's probably just going to drop the castle there. And I'm still looking for things for ACCM. And looking to see what his win condition is going to be. And I think for that, it would have to be mistakes from Hera's side. He's not made many in this series, Nili. He's not making any now, and he's continuing to dominate on water.
Yeah, just like, now it feels like the first game again, right? It feels like he's in full control, everything goes right for him, and he's cruising through. Let's take a look into the demo. Well, he will eat that one, but if he goes back, all of them will be full in 5 minutes again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a castle in the middle, taking his time. Seems like Hera's maybe missing buildings. Clicks up now. He will also get 2 villagers from each town center he has when he makes it to the Imperial Age. So he's going to have an eco that's probably around like 120, 130 by the time he's there, and he's going to have the Navy.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Wouldn't be surprised if he builds a town center in the middle island as well. That fight goes into his favor, and he can just take demos, right? So he wins this one, and everything heals up. Just a brilliant position for him, and close to 40 population.
And it's good value to get from the fires, because he's going to switch galleons anyways. That seems to be the commitment now. Probably should see the ballistics upgrade come in. I don't know if Bengalis get shipwright, honestly. I feel like if you could afford it, maybe you could give it a shot, but certainly going galleon and bracer and chemistry is a great long-term.
Get shipwright.
I think you get it here.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, you stop creating bills once you have 120, because you're going to get a bunch for free anyways, and just don't spend food on anything until you get shipwright.
Right, also without a farm upgrade so far.
Yeah.
But obviously had a lot of fish, so that carried him quite a bit.
Yeah. And he brought in the food with the farms anyways. Obviously, he's going to pay a lot more wood for it in the long term, but he fixes that now. Castle there from ACCM. We see a castle from Hera, too. Hera's going to be able to make trebs.
No, ballistics hurts a bit here. I think Hera could have found like 3-4 more villager kills.
Yeah, it does hurt, but, you know, it's merely a flesh wound at this point, right? You're going to be in a great position anyways.
Yeah. Now trying to redock there, but that will be tricky because traps can be out instantly. And ACCM, well, in 2 minutes he will get an additional 200 wood.
Woo!
Not sure if that will be enough for a comeback.
And, you know, we've seen a theme today with some of the civilizations, right? Like, I think Dravidians haven't won, correct me if I'm wrong. And, like, the Persians haven't lost, right? And, you know, with the Dravidians specifically, it just feels like they have to do so much early, or they just don't look good.
Dravidians, yeah, like their mobility isn't really there, right? They have their advantages all at the start, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it makes sense from like a Civ design-wise to do the damage early on, and I think ACCM just typed the magical letters.
Yep, GG's called, and it's a 3-1, not a 3-2 like some of the other sets. Nice little handshake there, and it was a great series, Nili. And I think, honestly, both players learned a lot, and I think both players are only going to get a bit better, which is scary for anyone who's going to have to play them in the second round.
Yeah, I think so as well. And ACCM, obviously, tough matchup to face the C2 this early on, but I think he is in great shape to make it not into the bottom two.
Yep.
I think those were really promising games, and I think the pack, I think he belongs into the like 5th till 8th player pack.
Yep, sure. I could see that. He played well. His strategy was pretty good. I think there's some executional things, specifically 2 instances where he went early man-at-arms and just like wandered around the base. Wandered around the base and didn't know what to do. So maybe he needs to go back to the drawing board on that and think like, what can I do as a follow-up faster, or do I need to change my approach?
But will he face another player that is so good at zoning those man-at-arms out again?
I think on the Islands game, fantastic job. But remember, there was a lot of circling on the Morris game, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of circling and indecision there. So I think there, you know, maybe we could ask Hera about that, see if he feels like it was indecision, right? But like there maybe is the only thing. But like I said, fantastic play from him. I'm excited.
Well, then I will ask Hera, and you will rest for your next set, because up next is Dave in T90 again with the Viper against Villese one, right?
Yeah.
But I will go over to Hera. By the way, this is the moment where you always fill like 15 seconds.
I mean, it's just awkward now. Do I keep counting? Nili's running the 6 feet he had to run, and I'm still filling time awkwardly. And the Zoom just made it more awkward. And Dave was behind me, and here we go.
15 seconds felt shorter. Oh, it felt longer at the same time. Hera, congrats. Obviously, sometimes in those land scenarios, it can be shaky, different settings, different scenarios for you. How did you feel going into it?
I felt pretty good, but as you said, it's never really the same as when you're at your home. And yeah, I thought I played pretty well overall, and I got accustomed to the land setting a little bit more than usual. I think the more I do lands, the better it gets for that.
Okay, that's pretty sweet, and obviously you will get at least 5 sets to get accustomed to it before we go into the playoff stage. And first of all, like Frigid Lake, kind of a AM special by now, playing Persians, but typically with a dog build order. What was going through your head going for the militia there? I see a big smile.
I wanted to surprise him, and I tested that a lot. And every time he said, "Nah, it's bad, it's bad," but I said, you know, I'm gonna try it. I think the surprise factor is really good, and it worked out okay.
Why would it be bad?
It's bad because your economy is terrible behind it. Because on Frigid Lake, you only get 1 boar, you don't have that many sheep, and so usually you just can't up to the next stage. And that is the case. You can't up.
Yeah, to build the Dark Age sport.
Yes.
Right.
So because I denied his entire dock, I went to the middle, and you know, it just delayed me a lot, but it was a fun game. It makes it messy.
What do you think? I didn't think it through yet, but to send 5 villagers into the center with the dock, get doubled.
That's actually interesting. Like from his perspective? Or
No, from you, from yours.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's what I thought you meant. I think it's not bad because you get the fish right away. I think that's not bad. Yeah.
But because like it's so ugly. Like you went for the berries, right, and then you even Dark Age farmed, something we don't really typically see.
Yeah.
It is tricky for sure.
That might be a better adaptation. I like it. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that will work out, right? Because then you're kind of vulnerable. He already gets to Feudal Age earlier. If he sneaks a dog, then you're getting pushed away.
Yeah.
Needs to be tested. And overlay, guys, I think Odo actually talking about this a bit, because we actually felt did rush achieve quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, denying the dock was huge, right? I'm just really worried about the economy behind it. As you can see, I'm like 2-3 minutes behind in Feudal, and he sneaks the dock, which is actually really hard to stop. I was looking for that, but...
Yeah, you missed it by 1 tile twice.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, well played to him for getting back on water, and that's a really big disaster for me here. So from here, I think it went back to an even game when I should have had the lead.
Your food transition was just so much better.
Okay.
That was the main issue, right? You can see he is idling TC right now. Simply because you had the 4 fishing ships so much longer than him.
Yeah.
And then he like had 6 farms when you had 13.
Interesting. Okay. So maybe it's better not from what I want to do, which is like a fast push, but rather sets you up nice for like a Castle Age play. Interesting. I like that.
Now we can see he has 1 on food, right? And you have 9.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this adds another layer to Frigid Lake. We played too many grushes. I said I don't want to play what everyone's expecting, so I said let's mix it up, and I think I achieved that in this game, and that's pretty good.
Now the monk is coming, pushing you away here. A greedy, looking for the kill player would have maybe tried to dive and go in with 5 knights with the conversion.
Oh no, Mr. Yo taught me you see a monk, you run. Yeah, Mr. Yo gets that conversion, and nine times out of 10, but others don't.
He told it to you, or he showed it to you on the ladder?
He showed it to me 100 times on the ladder. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, it felt like you were on cruise mode the last 15 minutes in this game.
Yeah, just having fun with it. At the end of the day, I really love playing this game. So if I have a chance to make elephants, I can't resist. And
walls.
Yeah, and the walls. I mean, it's really good. Honestly, it's it's like I can't lose from here. You know, I'm chilling. I have 5 relics, full walls. It's nice.
But this game felt a bit more tricky. Walk us through it.
Honestly, it was really well played to ACCM. I mean, I think Cumans plus the tower rush was such a smart idea. I was thinking after the game, normally I know what went wrong. Here, I have no idea.
You know what went wrong here?
What happened?
You did, yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I missed my blacksmith. It's funny. This is the one time I make a market instead of a blacksmith to go up, and it's the one time I need the workshop, so that was pretty bad.
But that went pretty well for you.
I think I was 100% sure I lost until I saw this. This, I thought maybe I can come back because I killed a lot of villas and had a castle. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but I think if there's anything ACCM can learn from this is when you're ahead, don't get too fancy with it. Just keep it simple. He was so far ahead, you know? That being said, if he did get that castle up, it's GG on the spot, so you know, fair enough.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet one. And you felt you could come back here. You still had a reasonable farm setup, as you can see. Like you had 36 while he was at 22. Did you feel like there was any chance to hold this area?
Yeah, like after the failed castle, I was like, okay, I have a chance now. I was all in on this area. Unfortunately, I just wasn't quick enough to set up my stable, set up my army. So I just felt like I couldn't get to the right composition to match his halb spam. But yeah, I think just well played at him that game.
And then Moraz, he yoinked Turkey away from you. I don't think it was really game deciding there. But yeah, you kind of expected men-at-arms. Magyars, what's your thought process?
Yeah, I expected the initial 3 men-at-arms. I didn't expect more, I'll be honest. So my initial process was like, okay, let's back up and I'll fight him. And then I saw him adding 4-5. And I kind of panicked. I didn't really know what to do. I knew the spearmen were coming. In hindsight, I think I should just make a range. I'm a little stubborn, but I thought I'd make use of the mobility. He was great on defense with the spears. Turned it into just a really messy game. And who knows what happens, you know?
Yeah. Well, you obviously having the mobility there is so nice for you, and you can basically dictate the fight, right? He has to keep the spearman at home, get some quick walls in, but only 1 hit there as well, and you're constantly knowing. Now taking a massive fight, like with 15 scouts before you upgrade light cap, was it a conscious decision?
I said I can't really afford light cap, so I'll just trade the scouts and then go knights.
Okay.
I think light cap, it's usually a very cheap upgrade, but my food economy was absolute buns right now, so I had to kind of adapt on the fly.
Okay, and then you went into the CA, into a Dark Age, Feudal Age player, and obviously looking pretty hot there. And then we are going on to Northern Isles. What's your thought process there? I feel like you got way more confident on water maps over the last year.
I love Northern Isles, honestly. I really don't understand why people pick it against me. I think me being bad on water maps was the thing of like a couple of years ago. It's one of my favorite maps right now. It's just not something I like to pick because I think that a lot of players are pretty good on it as well, and a lot can happen. But I really enjoy playing Northern Isles, and yeah, it was a nice little trap there. Or not trap, but block, I suppose.
Yeah. You reacted so calmly, right? How much you delayed your barracks here? Like blacksmith before, you see like men-at-arms already close to your base.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have to kill them for a while because, well, actually, I'm really familiar with the strat because Hart was playing the qualifiers, and he had to face this strategy, and he choked to it.
Against whom?
I forgot who he was playing against, but he let the men-at-arms in, and it was a disaster. So I said, I have to keep them out. I know that. And then I have a huge advantage. So that's kind of what I tried to do. I relied more on the walls and the range.
Okay. And yeah, you were looking pretty hot here, giving the handshake a good job there. And yeah, now I'd like to see the schedule as well. After we see another $30 donation.
Thank you.
Yeah, you might get, what is that? Like $6.60 if you win.
$6?
Out of that, yeah.
Oh my God, that's huge.